Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is GBay99. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today, we are back with a video that I am pretty excited to make. I cannot wait to start talking about this. Today, we're going to talk about why people like Death Grips. In my opinion, what I think makes Death Grips a incredibly exciting and fun band to listen to. Now, on the off chance you have not heard me play Death Grips on stream, or you have somehow never heard of them before, never heard of any of their music, never heard of Guillotine or anything, I'll link a couple of their songs in the description. You have to listen to like 5 seconds of it. You can only, you can stop after 5 seconds if you hate it, but you have to listen to like 5 seconds of it just so you understand why people either love them or hate them. You'll probably fall into one of two camps. But anyway, I want to go ahead and start talking about this. I'll begin talking about how I found Death Grips myself. I was looking through a list of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time that I found an album that I had never heard of before from a band I had never heard of before. And it was Death Grips, The Money Store. I saw the album. I said, okay, I've never heard of that band, never heard of that album before. Let's give it a listen. First song, first track, Get Got. You guys know it. It starts off with that get, got. The first little verse with a light instrumentation, but then there's like this drop into the entire wave, just a huge rush of the song that comes over you. And as that hit me, it just blew me away. I was like, whoa, I don't know what this is. I've never heard anything like this before. I don't know if I enjoy it that much, but I can't stop listening. I listened to all of Get Got, and then I listened to The Fever, and The Fever might be one of, if not my favorite Death Grip song of all time. It is amazing. It's amazing. As soon as I heard The Fever, I bought The Money Store. I downloaded Ex-Military, their mixtape, and then I just listened to Ex-Military and The Money Store for like a month on end, and then I eventually tweeted something out. I tweeted out something talking about how I said something along the lines of, Death Grips is slowly becoming my favorite band of the past 20 years. I don't know why I like them, but I can't stop listening. And then someone responded to that tweet saying, what's your favorite album of them? And then I realized I was only listening to their mixtape and their first album. So then I went out and bought all the rest of their discography. I listened to all of it. I absolutely adore all of it, even Government Plates, kind of. I listened to, all of it, and I still listen to it very frequently today. And it really is an unusual sound that I don't quite know why I like it, but I think I'm starting to understand a little bit. The thing that really hooked me on their music is the fact that it was something that I never heard before. It's like that. It's like if you eat something that you never tasted something like it before, and you're eating it and you don't know whether you like it or not, but you kind of want to keep eating it because, you want to experience this new taste that you had never even realized existed. That's the sort of feeling that I get when I listen to Death Grips. Death Grips is a band that their music isn't the sort of thing that I generally like. I don't like super heavy, aggressive, like screamo kind of music. I'm not super into that like crazy aggressive stuff. But Death Grips is so experimental and interesting. The music is just so interesting and new. I think that's why I enjoy them myself, and I think that's why a lot of other people enjoy them. If you look at a lot of the people that are like huge Death Grips fans, most of them are people that are either musicians themselves, they work in the music industry, or there's someone like Anthony Fantano, who's the internet's busiest music nerd, a music critic that listens to a ton of music, a ton of good music, a ton of bad music. It makes sense that someone like that would enjoy the hell out of a band that's doing so many new and interesting things with music. I think a pretty good example of the opposite genre that I don't know how many of you guys have listened to these songs. I'll also link some of these down in the description below. But if any of you know of that anime trance music, they called it trance music. It's not actually trance music. It's like hands up or Eurodance music that was really popular on YouTube from like 2006 to 2010, 2011, 2012. A lot of this music that people would just upload these songs, and they would just put like some anime character on the screen for the entire video. Again, it's not actual trance music, but artists like East Clubbers, DJ Splash, DJ Satomi, I don't know how to say that one, but a lot of these songs, if you've heard of them, you probably enjoyed them the most when you first heard them, and you probably enjoyed them the most when you were younger. Now, the reason for this is because of like a musical decision that spans the entire genre of trance music, of this hands-up kind of music, where basically what the songs are structured like are they start off with a melody, right? Eurodancer is a good one. It starts off with this melody that's typically a really good melody, a melody that resolves nicely, like the kind of melody that you get tingles down your spine the first time you hear it. So it's this really good melody of, you know, whatever it is, Flying High by DJ Splash or something, and the first time you hear it, it's amazing. And then the interesting thing about that music is it just expands on that melody and does things with that melody through the entire song and builds on it and takes away from it and builds on it more for a grand finale. A lot of music, when you talk about like the average song, it starts off like verse, refrain, verse, refrain, verse, refrain, and the verses are generally not super they aren't as enjoyable to listen to as the refrain in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? Like the main chord progression of the music. It all resolves really nicely in the refrain, and then the verses just build up to that refrain and tell the story or whatever it is the verses are doing, depending on the song. But the interesting thing about trance music, or anime trance music, hands up, is it just takes that beautiful refrain and builds on it over and over and over. So it's amazing when you first hear it as a kid. I first started listening to that music when I was playing RuneScape when I was like, I don't know how old I was. I was like 14, 13 at the time. And when I first heard it, I thought it was so good. I thought it was so good because it just took these beautiful refrains, these beautiful chords, and did all these crazy fun things with them in the way that it's dance music, in the way that kind of gets your blood pumping and makes you want to dance. But eventually, you listen to that music enough, you listen to it time after time after time after time, and then eventually you grow tired of it. Eventually, those tingles in your spine the first time you hear that chord, it goes away. And then you're sort of left with this music that you can see how it does its thing, but it's very predictable. It's a very predictable kind of music to listen to. I still listen to it sometimes on my own just for nostalgic purposes, and it is pretty enjoyable. It's still, I think, pretty interesting and well-structured music in the way that it makes you get up and dance, but it's so much more potent and powerful the first time you hear it and the first time you listen to it, the first time you hear that chord resolve. That's the opposite of Death Grips. Death Grips does the exact opposite of all of that. I never know what I'm going to listen to. I never know what kind of sound I'm going to get, what kind of music I'm going to be hearing when I turn on a Death Grips song, or when I hear a new album or a new single or whatever it is. The most recent thing that they put out as of me making this video, I believe, is the what's it called? It's slipping my mind right now. The one with the bass. More Than a Fairy, that's what it is. More Than a Fairy featuring Les Claypool. It's a fantastic song that's just so different from everything else that they've put out, with this weird slappy bass that's so catchy in a weird way, in a weird and dissonant way. And that's how every new Death Grip song or album feels. It feels like something that you've never really heard before. You've never really heard the band do it before. You've never really heard any other artist try and do it before. Death Grips is not the kind of artist that you can put into Pandora and then find more bands like it. They are a completely unusual thing. They are unique in every sense of the word, one of a kind, and I think that's the thing that really makes people enjoy them. If you can be open-minded about your music taste, you know, if you're the kind of person that is someone who feels like they could be a music critic because they listen to all sorts of different genres, or you're the kind of person that can stand listening to, you know, all the kinds of genres that your friends hate and all the kinds of songs that people hate, you can still enjoy listening to them and appreciating them, then Death Grips can definitely fill a very interesting and exciting hole in your heart that you didn't even realize you had. I think that's the way that Death Grips is best described, and they are certainly my favorite band that I have listened to in an incredibly long time. Big recommendation. Anyway, though, I hope you guys all enjoyed watching this video. That sun really got in my eyes by the end of it, didn't it? But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.